showed them. All right. What's up, everybody? I am Timmy13. I am joined by my co-host, way over there, John Sonic.
Hey, thank you all for coming out today. This is awesome.
We also have our special guest joining us, Beth Norris Brennan.
Hi.
Mega Beth.
Hello.
She has all kinds of names, I'm sure.
Yeah. Some of them good.
Some of them good. Some of them good. Well, awesome. We are super stoked that everybody's here. Live. We did this. I've done 2 shows. One was with my buddy over here, Dano. He's now in the audience. And then we did John's Hidden Garage.
Yeah,
It's like a fortress.
that's
It's an awesome place. And Paul Barber saw the show and said, I want you guys in my bar. So here we are. Thank you to Paul, who's not here. But we will thank our producer, who's hanging out in the back. She will not be on camera. She refuses. Her name is Megan. She's awesome. She's answered my calls and texts throughout weird hours of the time when I have ideas and things. And so she's been awesome. So we credit her as a producer.
making
Also-
it happen.
What'd you say?
Making it happen.
Making it happen. Also, somebody who's not here, but will be here in the future, our stage tech, Jeff Baker, helped us put together the lights. Actually, we spent about 3 hours putting this together yesterday, and we have future ideas of how we're going to set this all up. So we're excited. We're excited. This is our first live. I don't even know what to do here.
Oh, I
What do we do, John?
I guess that's it.
That's it.
Good night.
We're done? All right.
Oh, hey,
Oh, drink.
drink.
got
This
stuff
is,
to
drink
this
up.
is sponsored beer.
We are sponsored by Ziggy's here in Hudson, which is awesome. Again, thank you to Paul Barber, Justin, who owns the Hop and Barrel next door.
This is
Also
Hop and Barrel.
decided to sponsor us, so we're very thankful for that.
IPA.
Which one you got?
I got the IPA. I'm an IPA girl. I like it strong and kind of aggressive. It's rock and roll.
Huh? You want me to edit that out later?
Nope.
Okay. So,
I'll go with it.
you know what? I mean, we had an eclipse today. This is our first time live, all brand new equipment. What could go wrong?
This is gonna be
Absolutely nothing.
fantastic.
Well, everything that does go wrong is because of the eclipse.
You know what? That's what I'm going to say.
I'm certain of it.
I like that. All right, that's what we're rolling with. So there's a lot of people here. We've told you, if you enter the building and you walk in front of the cameras and you end up on camera, that sucks for you. Not editing you out, not blurring you. You read the sign on the door. Cool.
Unless you're into it. Yeah.
Huh.
No, I didn't mean that in a bad way.
And you like it strong and aggressive.
You know, this is totally not how I thought this was going to go.
Sorry.
All right.
Are
Bring
you-
it in.
Are you?
Back
Anyway, so anybody here, I see a lot of people here. My good buddy Brant over there. He's a very good drummer. Ryan, how'd your audition go, by the way? Good. Yeah, see, this is what happens when you're live. We get to bug you.
He's not going
Ryan,
to say it went poorly on live.
I would. If it went poorly, I would.
Okay.
I'd be like, you know what? It
I'd
sucks.
lie.
The band was terrible. I really nailed it.
I rocked, but
I
everybody
was
else.
good. I did swell. Jake, Audio Circus. I saw you perform for the first time just a couple weeks ago. You guys killed it. So for the people watching, if you have not seen Audio Circus, make sure you get out and see them. That was some of the most fun I've had. Along with Beth here, we got Paul in the audience, part of Sugar Buzz.
Yeah.
Awesome. We have some feral people, feral parents, who actually started because of John.
Well, yeah, the jam.
Is that fair to say? Straight out of the jam. So let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, let's. I'd be happy to. So yeah, this guy over here, Randall, joined us for the first time about Jam 5 or something, and his buddy talked him into signing up and getting on stage. And it not only was it his first time being on stage, he'd never played with other musicians before. And
So the jam was your first time getting up there.
yeah,
Oh,
I asked him, what he thought of it. And he said, I effing love it, and I'm going to be back every week. So
The next thing you know, now you're in a band with
I'm
these two
back
characters.
every week, and right on.
That's how it happens. That is
Yeah,
how it
no,
happens.
that's awesome. I mean, they play at every jam, and every time they play it, it's like you can tell they're leveling up every single time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. So,
And
so congrats to you guys. That's awesome.
if you're watching from home, you notice how we do call out people from bands, so it's a good promotion for you.
Wait, there's my fiance
come
right
on
there.
out.
Oh, wait. Did you just say you're engaged?
Yeah.
That guy must
Sorry,
be in a
people.
That's
Steve
Steve.
Hill.
Yep, he is in Hellion, which is a Judas Priest tribute band, and Halfway There, which
Halfway,
is
you
Bon
just
Jovi,
joined
Non
halfway there.
Jovi. What?
About a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I met him at a jam, so. there
Well,
you
look at that. See,
So
if
there's
you go,
other benefits to
if you
jamming
go to
people.
jams, you're
Right?
gonna get hard and aggressive, and you're gonna start a band.
You missed the hard and aggressive part. Sorry.
But we hear good things.
This is now you're taking it there.
What happened?
I'm just
I
gonna drink this.
what? I'm lost. So anyway, so let's talk a little bit more about the gym. We got the next one coming up.
Yeah, the next one is coming up next Wednesday. It'll probably be today when this airs.
Oh yeah.
April 17th at the Stillwater Ziggy's location. 1 week after that will be our very first jam here in this building, Ziggy's in Hudson upstairs.
And I'm going to be at that one.
You're gonna be at this one?
Yes, I am going to be at
You
that
are.
at the
It's
one.
gonna be awesome.
Because
I'm
I
gonna
was
be here
asked by
too.
somebody to do a particular song.
What song?
A particular song.
you allowed
The
to- are you-
Steelheart. The
Oh.
Steelheart song.
If you haven't heard Beth do that song, it is you're gonna cry. It's so emotional. Like she gets into it and it's oh look who
Hi,
just walked in the
guys.
door.
You can sit there.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
the
Or if you
judgy
wanna-
table.
Yeah, that's the judging
Yeah,
table.
we're absolutely judging everybody that sits at that table.
This is live right now, and I'm drinking a live beer on live TV. Oh.
My beer was recorded at another.
Oh, that's another band. That's Sarah from
That's
Revved Up. We
Sarah
were
from
doing
Revved
band
Up.
shout outs.
I am running sound for them this Friday. I am, so that's going to be
Tim
exciting.
is surprising us all with different things he's doing for our bands. I'm like, oh, really?
I do so many different things. You know what I'm going to do less though?
What?
Drumming. Yeah, I'm going to do less drumming. Just kind of.
Because you want, or they're just booting you?
Wish they were booting me.
After a while, you just get sick of bands.
You know,
I hope
that's
not. This
not
is what
wrong.
the podcast is about.
That's not wrong. Yes, absolutely. It's the stage unhinged. We are unhinged right now. No, I'm
So then why are you surprised with anything I say?
not. It's just so well. No, I am. I guess because I always picture you as like this. I don't even know this person who's
Go on.
like prim and proper.
What did you say?
What was that?
Delicate?
That's kind of what I see. And so I've always admired Beth. So when you hear things like that, you're like, oh my God, you went from here to here real quick because now you're on my level.
Yeah, I'm half Bulgarian, so
Oh,
but only half.
not sure what that means, but is that the hard aggressive part?
No, that's vulgar. It's the vulgar part.
Oh.
It's the blue language.
I see.
I can roll with it.
Did you say
No.
you're Bulgarian?
Bulgarian.
Okay.
Bulgarian. What did you think?
With a V?
With a V.
Okay, yeah.
No, the reason
That was a joke.
Now I get.
Okay.
I thought you just said Bulgarian.
Oh, not Bulgarian. No, Bulgarian. like
Bulgarian?
Vulgar.
vulgar.
That just landed so bad. Can we?
I got
roll
it.
Tape again. Okay.
Did you say can we take again?
Can we?
Absolutely not.
Oh, I know.
But no, so I want to dial back on drumming. The last 2 summers, I've been so busy, and my daughter,
Hi.
I have not been able to spend any time with her, and that's driving me absolutely insane. So if you're a parent, you understand being able to. She right now she's young enough that she wants to hang out with me. She still thinks I'm kind of cool. I've got about 2 years left of that before, Right. See, you understand. I got about she's 11 years old, so by the time she hits 13, it's
It's
So so I want to hang out with
come
her.
on
while she-
in. There's
while she
a
still wants to
comfy
hang out with
couch
me.
over there.
There really is. It's awesome.
That's where I'd sit, but that's just
No, you're stuck up here with
I'm up
us.
here.
I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Oh,
But anyway, back to the gym.
back to the jam.
So the 24th, Here, the very first one here, though.
Yeah, that'll be the first time we do it.
Oh, sorry about
We'll
that.
be here once a month, Stillwater twice a month. And right now we're in the middle of our featured guest series. So,
What is that? I've seen that online, but what is that sort of? It's guitarists right now, right?
yeah, so
Yes.
we're bringing in as a member of the temporary house band a guitarist from around the cities.
Because Tony Williams is out right now.
Yeah,
Oh, because he's supporting Queen's
Queen's
Right.
Right.
yeah.
It's an Armored Saint.
Armored Saint, yeah.
So on the 17th, we've got Dan Monahan from Good for Gary. That's going to be a killer show. 24th, when we come here, we've got Jeff Rutland from Pop Rocks. I know we've got some Pop Rocks fans.
I think it was Jeff who requested the song, actually.
Yeah,
The Still Hard one. Okay.
we did it once in Stillwater.
Yes, we did.
I've
Jeff
not
does.
seen
Brent, it was Brent because that was your wedding song. Yes. Okay.
You better say yes, because your wife's right here. She's monitoring you.
Yeah,
How well do you remember, buddy?
yes. So
Yes, I agree with that statement 100%. That Beth nails it.
Thank
The
you.
Still Hard song.
yeah, absolutely. Blow you away. So come and see it.
So the
we
guest
have-
series,
Yeah.
you said Jeff was the 24th, and then who's after Jeff?
Oh, May 1st, we've got Logan Stoliker. Who's one of the
I'm excited
guitar
for that
players
one.
I've ever seen.
Yep. Does
Just
a lot of
phenomenal.
original music.
We are we're bringing Backcountry into the jam for that.
Yeah, Avenged Sevenfold.
Avenged Sevenfold. I got drums, Brand. Don't worry.
That'd be cool.
But that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so anyway, we can wrap up that segment, but if you want more information, ziggysallstars.com. You can find everything on there that you need to know. There's a frequently asked questions page that will help.
Actually, talk about the new feature you just put up.
Um,
Did you just put that up today? The setlist archive.
Yeah, so you can go on a site, and now there's an archive of every jam we've ever done. The set lists are posted there, so if you want to see who played when and where, check it out. It's cool. There's another feature that's relatively new. Last week we released the event calendar. So right now you can go on there and find the jams from now until May 22nd, and it shows the locations. There's maps and directions and everything that's happening at that jam. So I think I've gotten ahead of everyone's questions, but they still come to me with the same things.
Do they come to you in the middle of the night sometimes?
Absolutely.
Some ideas come to me in the middle of the night, and I try not to message you. I don't want to piss off your wife.
And they'll say, hey, what did I sign up for tonight?
Awesome. So the Ziggy's Jam, I go and I get to play every now and then, but I mostly record, and it's just so much fun. The atmosphere is great. Everybody loves everybody there. I don't know how many good praises I can give it. So
Yeah, it's just a great group of people, and everyone's very supportive of one another. So if you've never been in music or you've been a lifetime performer, I think it'll suit all of you.
I mean, you got people who've never been on stage and now they're in a band, and you've got again last week we had some heavy hitters coming in who've been performing.
We sure did.
So real quick, just because I want to make this place loud, how many people are here from the Ziggy's Jam? That was not hard and aggressive.
We'll get there.
That's pretty good.
Make sure you guys tell your friends about this show. Make sure you tell them that it's live. There's going to be things. Yes, we're going to post this also to YouTube, but there's going to be a lot of things that I edit out because we want you to come experience the show.
I
with
saw
us.
that coming.
Sarah, what did you do?
It's all my fault.
I
I
know.
thought that was me.
That's why I
Is
asked,
that
what
me?
did you do?
But anyway, yeah, if you're a musician, yeah, it's a place for you. But if you're a fan of live musician, you've got to be one or the other because you're watching this podcast.
Absolutely.
So if you're a fan of live music, it's an awesome show. I feel like you can go out and see 12 different bands in 3 hours. So it's a really great
really can.
format. You really get to see a lot of entertaining
Yes, absolutely.
songs played.
And yeah, so that's every other Wednesday. starting at 7 p.m. at the Ziggy's in Hudson, except for April 24th, we will be here upstairs featuring Beth again.
So again,
Cheers.
just go to the website, check the calendar.
Stillwater. Then the 24th
Oh, wait, you're
is
going to be.
here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You said Hudson
My
twice. 17th.
It's
is
because they are
Stillwater.
sponsored.
Yeah,
So
Just
because we're sponsored by beer.
I'm obligated to say their name so many times.
Hop and barrel, hop and barrel, hop and barrel. This is
We're
an
getting there.
IPA. Hop
We're
and
getting
barrel.
So this episode, we're moving on. Now that you formed your band, we figured, we're going to talk about marketing your band.
Yeah.
Before we do that, I want to ask, where are we at with the Unhinged burger? Is that ready to come up?
It exists.
Can you start it?
It's good.
All right, so we're going to talk. I actually tried
had
it
one.
earlier.
It's awesome.
Have you guys tried the Unhinged burger yet? Holy cow, it's super good. Like, you read all the ingredients, you're like, is it going to be good? And you try it. It's freaking good. So while he's cooking that up, let's talk a little bit about marketing. And that's when we bring in our expert, Beth,
Yeah.
who can be seen on either side of the screen or right here in person.
Yes.
Beth, you are a part of Sugar Buzz and Queen of the Ryche,
Yes.
which was actually also formed at a jam.
Yes, it was.
Uh,
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about you,
Okay.
who you are, now that we know you're not a delicate flower. But who you are, what your experience in music is, and
Yeah. Elevator pitch. So I'm actually a corporate marketer by day. That doesn't mean that I do social media marketing and the different kinds of marketing that we're going to talk about now, but it means that I had a natural proclivity or interest in that. So I'm a corporate gal by day, but a singer beast at night, and that's what I do. I've been with Sugar Buzz since we were toiling in obscurity since at least 2009. I would say the last 5 years we've really put pedal to the metal to kind of push our own brand.
Yeah.
And get there. And so I'm the singer and I play a couple instruments poorly there. And then we formed Queen of the Ryche about a year ago at a jam after doing a Queensryche song. A group said, there's no tribute band to Queensryche right now. Let's get one together. Easier said than done. This is complicated music. It takes a while. So it's interesting because when we're talking about marketing, I've got two diametrically opposed kinds of bands. One is at its infancy and one is at maturity. So I'm kind of looking at it through multiple lenses at the same time.
Right.
There you go.
And how's that worked out for you?
It's interesting. It's good. It's good. When I asked these guys what the focus was in marketing, because marketing can be cast a very wide net. So are you marketing to get followers, to get people to enjoy your band and to follow your band? Or are you marketing to get venues and to get gigs? And primarily the marketing is going to be around getting your band awareness out there, just from a follower standpoint, but they are inextricably linked.
Okay.
One begets the other. And interesting, I was talking to Jake a little bit, and what's really interesting is when you build the brand of your band and what it's going to be, it sort of forces you to check yourself as a group. Meaning, let's say a Sugar Buzz, I can tell you right now, is a variety band. If somebody says, what is Sugar Buzz? I said, we're a really high energy, 70s to today. We play everything from Lizzo to Metallica, multi-instrumentalists. We all sing power vocals, power music. Boom, done. There's my elevator pitch. Like I can say that off the top of my head. What is Queen of the Ryche? Well, that is a group of musicians top musicians from around Minnesota bands who put a face-melting tribute to the band Queensryche. It's a promise. So, but when we're putting your brand together, it forces you to think about who you are and what you are as you form. So, for instance, in the Queen of the Ryche, you have to do Queensryche music. That's pretty much it. But if you're in a variety band, yeah, that's kind of the challenge. But if you're in a variety band like Sugar Buzz, we could have gone a number of different ways. And most cover bands out there are some variety, whether it's a variety of country, a variety of rock, a variety of top 40. And when we introduce a new song, if somebody suggests a song to the song list, you have to kind of stop and go, does that fit who we are?
Mm-hmm.
Does that fit who we are? And if it doesn't, then that forces a conversation, or should force a conversation on, okay, are we expanding who we are? Are we changing who we are? Because if we're doing that, that has to be a conscious decision. So every marketing choice that you make also sort of forces a choice on what kind of band you're going to be. And you all kind of have to gel toward that.
Right.
So that's kind of the number one thing that I was thinking. There's a symbiotic relationship between the band that you are and the band that you say you are, if you're doing it right.
Right.
So
You've got to know who you are in order to sell it.
yes. And you guys talked a little bit on your prior episode about when you're forming the band, you kind of have to make those decisions, right? Who you're going to be, who your primary audience is. And when you go after venues or when you build your following, you have to know who your primary audience is going to be, what kind of venues you're going to try and play, how often you're going to try and play, and y'all have to be on an agreement about that. So, but if I narrow it down to the marketing, when you decide who you are and you say, I want to play these places this often, this far out, then that's how you start cultivating your following. Of course, social media is a very easy one. When I first started, social media was just a little bitty baby, right? There wasn't a lot. You're still putting, back in 2003, I was still putting flyers on car
I was
windows.
going to say there's so many people today that will never understand having a thick pack of flyers like this and just going out and handing them out to everybody. I mean, I was 18 doing
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Used to be the
That's how
greatest
old I
thing in the
was
world to
2003.
see your picture in city pages, right?
Right.
Oh,
Yes, absolutely.
I'd never achieved that. I
There's a
never
lot of work.
achieved that. But of course, social media is the easiest way to get started because it takes like 5 minutes to set up a page. So the easiest way is to start there, and you invite your friends and family, just like when if you're selling insurance. That's right. You start with your friends and family.
Yeah.
But your brand too, you have to be able to say on your page or in a conversation who you are. Come and follow my band Sugar Buzz. Well, who are you? What kind of music do you play? I came up with it like that. You have to be able to come up with it like that. Easy if you're a tribute band, not easy if you're a variety band. Because the first sentence is going to be, this is who we are, we're a variety band with high energy, power vocals, tons of instrumentation. What kind of music do you play? And so instead of rattling off the list, if you've got a point A and a point B, we play from Lizzo to Metallica. That gives you an idea of what you play very quickly.
That's just L to M.
Just L to M. Anything A to Z. No, we don't do that. Sorry, Adamant, we're not covering you.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding. We have but the other part, social media is only a part of it. Being in the community is a very, very important part. You're practicing and you're getting your craft together. And by the way, trying your best not to suck. And this seems obvious, but when you're building your following, you got to try and put out the best product that you can. And a way, especially if you're building your following, you're trying to build both venues and following at the same time. And open mics like Ziggy's is a wonderful place, right, to get your band out there and get them known. Whether you're just looking for what we call reps, which is just opportunities to get together on a stage and play and hone that, or to get opportunities to be seen by other individuals who run those clubs, or to build people who say, yeah, I like that band.
Absolutely.
Even if it's an open mic, you got to come with your best game. Come with your best game every single time, because you just never know who's out there. So being in the community, attending open mic nights, very important. Also follow other bands. Follow them online, see what they're doing, see what kind of audience they have, see how they engage them.
I feel like that one too, you can also see, because I mean, there's so many bands out there that you can follow. You can get an idea of what works versus what doesn't work.
I tell people if they're like, I'm stuck or I need to, I'm like, okay, if I ask people, I said, measure yourself against other bands like yourselves and be honest. Like, what is the kind of band that's similar to what I'm doing? Where are they playing, right? Now go see them where they're playing. See how they're interacting. Now you've got notes on the types of venues that you might like to pursue, as well as what is working and what isn't. Sugar Buzz has been together for a very, very long time. All of us still go out to see other bands. And when somebody says, hey, I just saw Jacuzzi Puma the other week, somebody did. And the first question back to the group is, great, what did you learn? What did you learn? What can you learn?
That's what you guys ask each other.
We ask each other that, yes. What did you learn about other bands? So I think it's very important just to hone your own craft, but as well to see what works and how to build your following. And talk to people there. This is really hard for introverts. And believe it or not, there are a lot of performers who are actually introverts. They only get extroverted on stage.
It
Right?
has-
Well, the stage is where you change.
Yeah, the stage is already changed.
Stage is where you change.
But talking to
you
people,
become unhinged.
I had a gig this past week. I see what you did there. I just ignored it because I didn't think it was very funny.
Wow.
I'm sorry. You're such easy prey, Timmy.
I know.
Sorry. We got done with sound check, and I walked around because we're always trying to build our following, like 24/7. And I walked around to, if people weren't deep in conversation, I would
Wait,
just
which
stop.
band are you trying to build 24/7?
Both.
Okay.
Well, yeah, both. One's in its infancy, so that's just a different angle.
Right.
But we're trying to grow Sugar Buzz, and so I would talk to people and I'd say, hey, thanks for coming out. How did you hear about us? Some of them are just like, I don't know, I just came here for dinner and, I'm just here. So some said, hey, I actually follow Queen of the Reich and I'm here for, and I'm like, well, this is a very different show. I hope you know that's a very different show. And some said, hey, we had friends who said that you were good. Some said we were just in the area and we saw your Facebook. So that tells you things.
I feel like that's a big one. Like for me, when I'm not working on the weekend, I will automatically go to Facebook to see who's playing where.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, advertising your show is
Yeah.
a big thing.
With Queen of the Reich, it's different because the makeup of that band are people who have been in bands for a very long time.
Right.
Nobody's a newbie there. But you do kind of fall into roles, and I fell into the role of marketer for both, just because that's where I gravitate. You go with your
couldn't imagine
strengths.
why.
Yeah, I know, right? With that, it's more about, let's get the followers that we had from our other bands.
Mhm.
But also Queensrÿche is a very niche band. And so some people will come to see out of curiosity sake. Some people say, can you actually do that music? And some will be like, I've never even heard of Queensrÿche. I don't even know what you're talking about and all of that. So with that, we have a goal, like we're going to get X number of minutes of material. We're going to do X number of shows. We're going to partner with X number of bands per year. And you've just got a goal to build. For the following on Queen of the Reich, we're at about 1,400, which is not bad for
1,400.
for a year.
The stage Unhinged
Or
is at 250.
Yeah, and Sugar Buzz is at 6,600.
So you guys
So-
out there, help us.
Help,
Spread
yeah,
the word.
and you all can help. And you can follow all the people's bands that have been mentioned here. And as a band, I follow other bands. If you go to the Sugar Buzz page or the Queen of the Reich page, we follow other bands online as well.
Absolutely.
And it's a support. It is a support. This is not. You had a wonderful post the other day, and you said, if it's a competition, compete with yourself.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Yes.
There
absolutely.
are enough gigs for everybody. I swear, there really are.
And you and I actually talked about this.
Yeah.
About, yes, there's a thing as healthy competition, which, that's just friendly, whatever. But I agree with you that we're not against each other here. We're not. If we should be boosting each other up, we should be helping each other out. Going to when we're not playing, going to each other's shows. There's enough space for everybody. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And like you said, it's great to be able to share the community. It's great to be able to follow other bands, to go see other bands. And you brought up learning from other bands.
Yes.
And,
Still doing it.
To me, you're comparing yourself to another band, but I don't feel like that's competition. Competition is just sitting back and saying, oh, we're better than them. And you take nothing from it.
I remember when we did the first award show. Again, anything negative I will never mention. Nobody will ever mention names. So, but somebody did message me and was like, hey, you should do the best guitar player award. One, how? Because how do you... No one person is the same, right? No guitar player is the same as the next guitar player. If you put me
What's the
and
criteria?
yeah, if you put me and Brant in the same room drumming, we have two absolutely completely different styles of drumming. Singers, you're never going to find the same singer. One, you're either good or you're not good. I figure, So I feel like when this person asked me, hey, you should do the best guitar player, I was like, I don't want to do that because what's the criteria? How do you judge? there's so many great guitar players, and there's so many different styles of great guitar players. I wouldn't even know how to do that. So it's just, for me, even with drummers, like I just love anybody that wants to get out and play. Anybody that can get out and play. Anybody that's, if you're a drummer, I love you. That's simple as that. So we don't have enough drummers.
And I love connecting with people. I mean, anybody who's ever asked me for advice, I don't give advice without asking, except sometimes I proselytize on my Facebook page, and you can just scroll by and just go, hi. But personally, if somebody ever asked me, I would be more than happy. And I know bands, and Sarah knows this. There was a band that retooled, and they've been around for I'm not going to say who, they're very, very long time. They have a very big name. And when they retooled, they redid their entire show. They did it in a place in private and asked people to critique them. They asked people to come in and critique them. And, obviously with positive intent, with positive, you don't say you suck or anything like that, but like, hey, was this transition good, or this song selection was kind of off, or this, you guys are dressed kind of weird, or, whatever it was, or the instruments weren't coming in at the right part, or whatever it was. I think it's very valuable. And I think if you ask other band people, or even your following, or the following that you're trying to get, they'll be kind. Just say, be kind, please.
Right.
But give me feedback, because that will help you improve. And we, sometimes it's hard, but we still do it to this day. So when you go into a show, you don't say, they suck. You just kind of go, well, what can I walk away with that I'm not doing that maybe we should explore? Would that make us better? Would that still fit our brand? Or is that something just way out there, and they're going to do it, and they're going to do it great, and we just go with it? But anyway, I don't want to digress. So building I had a lot of social media tips, because aside from the uncomfortability of talking to people, and by the way, you should be talking to bartenders and wait staff and the sound person when they're not running sound. When they're not running sound.
When they're not running sound or video.
Key. Management, because they do show up at these places that they own and that they walk, and they have a say. We got a casino gig because a sound guy called a guy at a casino and said, you should hire these people. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a fantastic way. Again, I'm getting into venue, but that's also a way this person's also got throw in building your following, because.
But you're not off. I mean, Megan, how many bands have you booked here just based off hearing how good they are from somebody else? So
several.
There's a perfect example right there. She's not Mike, but she said several.
Several. Okay.
So that just shows you,
Yeah.
like you said earlier too, bring your A game every time.
Bring your A game every time. I don't care if it's a freebie. Bring it as if it was your only show you're ever going to have. But I had a lot of notes, so you guys kind of tell me where you want to take this, because I had a lot of social media tips that are kind of stuff like that.
So, yes, let's get down to social media.
All right, we're back.
Mm-hmm.
We're back.
Okay.
Oh, wait. My name is Simi13. This is John Sonic with Beth. We are back. Right? Is that how this works?
I think so.
All right.
Making it up as we go.
Absolutely. So we were discussing, real quick, the sun's really bright now, but during the eclipse, there was nothing?
That's the first time I've seen the sun in 3 days.
3 damn days?
No.
Anyway,
So, yeah, I think I want to take this as a transition from that first episode we did about building your band.
Yep.
And we talked about how miserable it is to argue about what you're going to call yourselves.
Oh,
And now that you've
squirrel.
finally agreed upon a name,
Mm-hmm.
you have to build that brand.
Yeah.
So, you need logo design.
Yeah.
And you need to promote yourselves with photography, with videos.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll take that to social media, and how do we disseminate all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think, a graphic designer myself and our background, I think your brand is very important, what it looks like. You want to be able to grab people's attention, but you just want it to be known, You want to build your following, so you want people to have heard of you, or when they see your name, they're like, oh yeah, I've seen that somewhere before. And the more they see it, the more they think, well, that's probably worth checking out. And as you know, you carry that with you for years, and that defines you as a first impression of who you are. So you want to bring people in with that. And I think that's a very important step.
Yes, absolutely. I'm trying to think when Queen of the Ryche first started, because that was less than a year ago, or about a year ago. First thing we wanted is we named our band. Then we said we need a logo. And
How
we
did
went.
you come up with that?
We went to a graphic designer friend, and there are people who will do it for, other reasons as well. But a graphic designer friend who was really into Queensryche happened to be, and I said, "Do you think you could whip us up a logo?" And I said, "We'll pay you for it. Just tell us what your hourly rate is." And he did. It was Eric Bulow, who is also a Wisconsin resident. Eric Bulow, and he created that for us. And then off of that, we could use that as the fulcrum of all the other branding that we did. And then you have to kind of decide your tagline. And as you said, our first gig was basically a 3-song, Jake was a part of it, a 3-song gig for a benefit for John Scott. The first 3 songs we ever did as a band after we decided we're going to be a band. We had somebody take video of that. Was it pro video? Nope, but it was content. And you need content. And it had content with lots of people in the shot, right? Lots of fans and audience on a great stage with great sound. So we just thought, okay, now we've got some content. We took some quick pictures in the back. And the first thing to do is don't let perfect get in the way of good. Just get your content out there. Sometimes that's the first thing before, and then when you get some ideas as to how you want to formally pose in photographs and some of that, you want to then, of course, go out and hire the pro video and all of that. But if you're just getting it going, right now, awareness is key. So get the video out there. If it's, it doesn't have to be perfect pro, but if you sound good and you look good, get it out there. Every opportunity is an opportunity for content.
Yeah.
Every single opportunity. I have practice tomorrow night. I'm going to take either pictures or videos of practice tomorrow night because I know Queen of the Ryche hasn't had some content out there in about a day or so because I'm hawking t-shirts right now. So
T-shirts that you put your logo on.
yes.
You put your logo on, put it on the videos, put it on the
Yep.
images, put it on pint glasses, put it on coffee tumblers, put it on everything. And, Gene Simmons was the master marketer in that respect.
Yeah.
Flood the world with your marketing.
Not sure I recommend coffee.
And I will say Sugar Buzz is a very unique position because the person who took on our marketing, I used to do our t-shirts, and I would there's a lot of online places that will do t-shirts at a volume. You just give them a logo and they are off to the races, and it's commoditized now. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're at with Queen of the Ryche because we don't have a lot of people who are willing to do a bunch of stuff, and we're still starting. So we're just like, let's just start with t-shirts, see where that goes. But for Sugar Buzz, if you've seen any of our stuff, Paul's wearing a hoodie with a t-shirt. We've got oven mitts.
Yeah, the oven mitts. The oven mitts.
And
Did you say you have one?
yeah. So and you know what? It gets the word out there because what other band has oven mitts? You know how that came about? Anne, who is recovering from surgery right now, she would have been here tonight, but she just had surgery on her eyeballs. So hi, Anne. She's Mark's girlfriend, and she said, I can up your game. And I'm like, up it, go, have fun. And she actually bought heat press. So you could DIY it. If you find somebody who's connected to your band who has a penchant for that, and she created these oven mitts as a Christmas present for Sugar Buzz, and then said, and we put it online, right? Here it is. And somebody said, do you sell those? I'm like, I don't know. You want to buy it?
Well, here's what's funny.
What are we talking?
Yeah.
So
Timmy knows somebody.
we're talking about advertising, right? And we're talking about photos and video. We happen to know somebody who does photos. He does amazing work. John, hit him up. He does absolutely amazing work with photos. We happen to know somebody that does video.
Yeah.
I do all right. Give me a call. I'll hook you up. I also happen to know somebody who does shirts, hoodies, the banner. My wife, she'll hook you up, whatever you need. there are people, and part of when we got all the T-shirt stuff is we wanted to help bands. That was our the first thing we talked about. Was like, how many bands we could help with this? Like we could give a great, I mean, obviously we have to charge because ink is not cheap, but I mean, we're not gonna be like a corporate who's, oh yeah, you want 25 shirts, that's $500. We can do better than that. So I mean, there's people locally that sometimes all you gotta do is put a post out on Facebook, right?
Yes.
Who do you know that does shirts? Who do you know that
100%.
does photography? And I mean, you'll see so many comments come down. I mean, but right here, I mean, in this room, we have everything covered.
Yep. Ask the question online. Don't ever be afraid to ask a question online, or when you're at these venues, or when you're trying to drum. Hey, do you know anybody who does? When you're going out to see the other bands, right? Hey, I noticed you have a really cool merch game, or your really cool photos, or nice video. Who's doing that for you?
Oh, she said nice video.
Yeah, I haven't even seen your video yet. I hope it's nice.
I hope it's nice too.
It's gonna be nice.
I mean, some people here keep buying them, so I'm gonna hope that they're nice.
All right. So yeah, there's a lot.
Thank you.
But getting your logo out there is really huge in whatever small way you can. I just say content. Always create content. You're always creating content.
So let me ask this: you had mentioned about Queen of the Rag not posting in a day or two.
Yeah.
What do you consider overposting?
When you start getting unfollows.
And how do you know if you're getting unfollows?
You assign one person in your band to watch your social media, not 3, not 12, 1.
Okay.
Because that person will be your voice. When you have too many people administer, one marketing director once told me years ago, the way to starve a dog is to make everybody in charge of feeding it. You got one person who's really in charge of that. I look at the analytics. Yeah, I look at the analytics. I look at how much, and then I also look at other bands, how much they post. Do I get annoyed after a while? What's my annoyance point? When do I get annoyed? And then I back up.
Something that you had mentioned in your notes to us.
Yeah.
This new thing that Facebook released.
Oh yeah.
The @followers and @highlight.
I hate. This is Beth's personal opinion. My personal opinion. I hate @followers. I hate because to me it's a spam trigger. It's just spammy.
If you haven't posted in a while and you're posting something, hey, great, because we all know Facebook algorithms are just crap, right? So if you haven't posted in a while, or if you have a really good show or something, but there's people we know. Again, not mentioning names, that will always @followers or @highlight. And it's like, I really don't want to see your stuff. I already see it. Like, it's coming up. And when you're doing it every single time, especially when they're reposting a show for the 12th time, because, that's coming up in a week.
Right.
I get it. You have a show coming up. Now I kind of don't want to go. By the way,
I will. There is another feature on Facebook that will give you. And this has just happened within the last 6 months. As the administrator, I'm the administrator on both of the pages, and it'll say, a number of people have reacted to your posts in the last X number of days who do not follow you. Invite them to follow you. Yeah. And you can click off the list and I think that's brilliant because they're already interacting with your stuff for some reason. Somebody might have forwarded something.
For some reason.
Usually I find that they're already following you, though. It's weird.
Oh, I have gotten more out of that.
Yeah, because I'm like, how are you not following? Oh, they are. But it's best to invite them anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, the @followers thing, it's like,
well, Facebook got really.
If I'm not in your band, I don't want to be
like and the
tagged
follow thing.
in your band's post.
Yeah.
Facebook got really weird with the like and the follow. It used to be just like our page. Now it's like but follow, or you can follow but not like. It's weird. It is hard to follow.
You can have followers out of spite. They don't really like you.
They can follow us out of spite. I don't even care why they follow us. I don't care. They can just follow us. If you want to be a hater, follow us to just hate on us too, because all publicity is good publicity. So, with other social media tips, I did say assign one person because that one person has your voice of your band. Mm-hmm. And you will notice if you go to the Queen of Ryche page and the Sugar Buzz page, I'm the person behind the curtain, but I do have a slightly different voice for Sugar Buzz than I do for Queen of the Ryche. Queen of the Ryche is a more serious band. because they're, Queen's Ryche is a very serious artist, and they talk about serious issues and all of this, where Sugar Buzz is just kind of like a really crazy party. And so we do a wink and a nod on a lot of things. And when we don't have specific show stuff, and I think this has garnered some more followers as well, we'll just post funny crap.
Real quick, who
Yeah.
here has seen Sugar Buzz live? You can make noise. The camera picks us up. If you haven't seen Sugar Buzz, the first thing I'm going to tell you is get there early if you want a table. Because otherwise you're not going to get a space. Yeah, you guys are a ton of fun live. I absolutely
Thank
love
you.
watching you guys live, and that's so important.
And that's part of our brand.
Yes,
That's what we try to do.
absolutely.
Anyway,
So, where are we at here? We talked about
what you should post?
what should yes, because this is something I come across a lot, and I'll kind of preface this. I follow a lot of different bands where there are multiple people who are in charge of posting, and the one thing we're never gonna get on the show is political, or anything that's negative. Because we're all about uplifting and being positive, but you see that stuff coming out. One person's post, and then somebody's trying to correct the post.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, so having one person, I mean, and that's exactly it. What should you be posting versus what should you not be posting?
Obviously, you should create an event for your shows. We try to go a couple months out. We don't put every single event out there that's upcoming. I will tell you, and this could be controversial, I don't know, paid advertising does work on our events. Like, I'll throw $20 at it for the event about 2 weeks before the show. And it works. I take a snapshot of the numbers before I throw that $20 at it, and then I watch, and it gets in front of eyeballs.
Good.
I mean, that's the cycle.
So when you're paying for it, is that basically all you're trying to do? Is you just want to get it in front of more people?
Yep, you're just trying to get the event out in front of more people, because you can't.
I mean, engagement would obviously be nice, but
Engagement
just
would be nice, but you just
being
want
on
it
their
there. When you're talking about, hey, I've heard of them before, I've seen them.
Right.
It might just be scrolling by in somebody's feed.
Mhm.
Other things to post, obviously, video and photos from your shows. If you don't have a show and you're still working on getting a show, get a video of your practice if it's decent. Get a video of set list has worked really well. That was.
you guys post your set
We
list.
post our set list, and
all
some
the
people are like,
time.
"Why do you do that?" And I said, "Because I'm sick of people going, well, what kind of stuff do you gonna play? What are you gonna play?"
Here it is.
Here it is, and it actually was an experiment, and I think that's an important thing, is to experiment. Also, we were surprised. I did it once, and I'm like, people. Usually, it's like a taboo topic. Like, no, you don't post this. You want to surprise people. You want to. Here's the genre we play, but you want to be surprised by our set list. And we got so much engagement. People would pick out different songs like, oh gosh, I haven't heard that one before. Oh, we should go. That I just kept doing it. I think I've done it for the last several shows. I may not do it for every single show. I won't do it for Queen of the Ryche, because it's pretty much, hey, you're going to get more Queen's Ryche.
Right.
But for Sugar Buzz, we do swap songs in and out per show, and we get a ton of engagement on that. So if you're a variety band, that does tend to swap songs out per show. People are really interested in that, and you get feedback on what people really like too, which
Right.
is like, oh, I love this song. I'm like, okay, noted. Didn't know that.
Yeah. And that's a key word, engagement.
Yes,
You want people
engagement.
interacting with your posts. So what to post? If you don't have a show, if you don't have any new band directly,
I have a funny meme. I have a
Right.
funny meme collection.
put a funny meme up there, ask a question.
Yep.
Get people interacting with you.
I respond
because
to everything
then
too. Every
If
single
somebody
comment.
comments on something, people that are friends with them will see that they commented on that thing, and now they're sharing it for you unwittingly.
Something I wanted to ask you, and this is something I've had a conversation about with other people before. So when you're promoting a show or you're promoting whatever it might be, right? Is it worth posting as the band, or do you think it's better tagging the band in your postings yourself?
The answer is yes.
Both, yeah.
The answer is both. So I will post as Sugar Buzz, and then there's at least 3 band members who immediately go. Dale will go in and post on his page right away.
He'll share it though.
He will share it onto his page. Yeah. Or
Because
you
I
won't go
always
in and share
thought
it.
when you tag the band or any page for that matter from your own personal page, the only people that are seeing it then are your friends.
Yeah, I do a
Whereas you-
public setting.
Yeah. Whereas if you post from the band page, because there's going to be how many people are following Sugar Buzz that you're not friends with?
I've got probably like 3,000. No, probably like 4,000 or 5,000.
Are you maxed out?
Yeah, I.
Facebook yelling at you.
No, I'm not.
But for some of us who
Anyway.
are not as lucky, we sometimes have more followers on a band page than I do. So I don't know. I just kind of think like because I was looking this up one day. I'm like, the only way for the general audience to see what my band is, if you tag it, they have to go to the mentions. How many people are going to the mentions? Whereas if you post from the band page and then share it that way, I kind of feel like that's the better road to go.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I post from the band page and I do share it from my personal.
All you
page
guys do.
after.
Absolutely.
Yeah, big time. So
That was just something I want to make note of is if you're posting from your personal page and you're just tagging the general public who are not your friends are not necessarily seeing that post. So you want to, I feel like you want to post from your band page and then share it that way.
that's how we.
And you can tag your band doing the same thing, but in order to get the public to see your band and what's going on, make sure you're posting from the band page. Don't just tag your band because you're not friends with everybody who might be following your band. Give me 13 insights.
Good points. You mentioned how, where was it? How far in advance should you post your show? And it's a good question. I just know if you want to post your New Year's Eve gig right now, that's too soon.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Unless it's something like so amazing, So I posted a show that's a month ago. That's not till June 14th, and usually I'm only a month or two out. But it was such an amazing show. I'm like, I gotta post this one now because we're pretty pumped that we're opening for Hairball.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
so I'm gonna post that right now because here's the other thing. I'm gonna get followers of Hairball that are not followers of Sugar Buzz because Shakopee or Canterbury posted it on their page, right? So I'm consuming it and going, heck yeah, I'm gonna throw that thing out there.
I feel like that's a different kind of show, though. That's not your typical Main
It's-
Street.
Well, yeah, but it's also
license or-
promoting stuff that's already there sometimes.
Yeah.
right.
If you're creating an event page and you're sending out invites to something that's 6 months from now, I'll probably forget about it.
Yeah, I would too.
Luckily now, Facebook has added that add to your calendar
Right,
feature.
right.
But it still doesn't pop up until the day of. So I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah, I mean,
And okay, this is personal opinion again, so take what you need, leave the rest. I don't spam all my friends. I don't send them all.
What?
Here's every show that's coming up. Gosh, go. I do try to be if it's in the East Metro, I'm going in and personally from Beth's page, right? Beth, I'm inviting people who might have a shot at actually going out there. They live on the East Side. I'm inviting you guys to the doghouse because I know you live over there somewhere. I'm not going to invite somebody who's in Mankato, and just spam everybody.
that's crazy talk.
But it does happen because
I
I get
know.
invited to stuff, and I'm like, I'm never there. I'm gigging that night, So I try not to invite other band people who I know have a show.
That's the hard part is so many of us musicians are friends with so many other musicians that it's like, I want to see all of you guys, and hopefully by doing more video, I'll be able to do that. But when I'm playing, I'm like, oh, I wish I could, but I can't. John's retired. He gets a little more freedom
Yeah.
On the weekends.
on the weekends.
It does take more work, though. It does take more work to be really.
As long as you, of course, approve of that. Sorry.
It does take a little more work, but I do believe friends appreciate it. I do believe, followers, you don't necessarily know where they're from, but your friends do appreciate
Right.
it when you're not inviting them to every stinking thing that you do.
The only thing that can get kind of overwhelming, and I might be guilty of it as well, but I don't know how you can fix it. If you're a member of many different Twin Cities music groups.
Oh, I spam those.
And you're sharing something like, say, on 4 different ones.
But again,
And then you'll be scrolling Facebook and you see the same ad
but
4
only,
times.
but only if you're following all of those, right?
Right,
You
right.
might only be following the East Metro ones. You might only be following the West
Right.
Metro. So I don't feel like that's over spamming at all. I feel like you're just putting it out there. One, you're making sure everybody sees it. Two, you know, you don't know, you really, in those pages, you don't know who's following who or what. So you're
That is
getting
tough.
out there.
That is tough to understand who. And when we're talking about there's pages that are devoted, for those who don't know, that are devoted to like metro area.
Randy's
Just-
Rock and Roll Report.
Randy's
That's
Rock and Roll
probably the
Report.
biggest
Yep. Yeah, that's a big one. Hey, Randy.
one. Never met the
You
guy,
know,
but he's awesome.
Party Rock and East Metro, and there's a West
Yeah,
Metro
there's
one,
like
and
a
there's Twin Cities.
Twin Cities cover band musicians, and there's like a Minnesota cover band musicians, and there's like Minnesota tribute bands. And,
What is it? Who's playing the Twin Cities?
Oh yeah, who's playing?
yeah,
Twin
there's a
Cities?
lot.
And then there's upcoming rock, rhythm, and blues. There's Midwest. There's a lot.
Do you take questions?
We are going to do that here in just a second. Did I lose my microphone again?
But on that line, it's great that people are so invested in local music that they want to create these groups
Yeah.
to bring people together, because that's what it
Persevere.
all should be, is just one great big community of people sharing ideas and sharing a love for music.
Welcome back to Stage Unhinged. I'm Timmy 13, sitting here with my co-host John Sonic, and we have the lovely Beth Norris Brennan
Hello.
joining us.
Yes.
We are talking everything marketing.
I did that again.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
sorry.
That was Sarah again. I don't know how she did it, but she did it.
Those of you at home can't see. It's a beautiful placard of one of the beers from Hop and Barrel.
We'll make sure we yeah, for those of you at home who actually miss out on a lot of the cool things we do live, you got to make sure you come down here.
Ate a
Our
burger.
next show is April 22nd. Ziggy's Hudson. We have so much fun here. I mean, this is a great
Absolutely.
time.
Is that
So-
Earth Day?
Monday again. When we're,
Earth Day.
Huh?
Is the 22nd Earth Day?
oh, is it Earth Day? I don't know.
Eclipse Day.
Is it
Earth
Earth
Day.
Day? 22nd is Earth Day. Everybody knows when 420 is, but nobody knows when Earth Day is.
Is that on the 20th?
Of April. Also, real quick, just to kind of bring up, our next episode is about booking your band, and we will have Paul Barber, who
Oh,
is
cool.
the owner of Ziggy's Hudson and who does booking. We might be able to squeeze Megan in on camera and talk about booking as well. I love it because she's completely ignoring me right now. But
Yeah.
anyway, so back to the marketing. Cargo shorts.
Yes.
Have you seen this crap online?
Yes.
I'm sorry, but it's crap. As a drummer who is constantly, if you've ever seen me drum, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Cargo shorts and shorts in general, I'm wearing them.
All right.
Well, you're a drummer. Nobody's going to see it anyway.
You don't know. I stand
The
up,
audience is
I run around.
I was hanging with a drummer the other day that had cargo shorts and compression socks.
Wow.
If you're watching this, you know who you are, Aaron Cole.
Calm down.
Hey now.
You know what's great though is
But now he's got publicity. See, all publicity is good publicity.
Right.
cargo shorts and compression socks.
Yes.
Casey, what is wrong with you?
He swears by them.
But the idea of why I brought it up,
Yeah.
how you present yourself on stage is the same as how you present yourself. Well, it's even more important than how you present yourself online, because now you're a person that's representing that whole brand that you've worked so hard to create. And if you're going to present yourself in person as though you couldn't care less, then people are not going to care about your band.
Yeah, I always say when I show up to a gig, when I walk in, I want people to say, "Oh, she's in the band.
Right.
Yes.
She's in the band." Not that she's there to watch one. Except now, cargo shorts can be appropriate if that's your band style. Like if it fits within a specific genre thing. But I know in Sugar Buzz, we all talk to each other before. What's the color this week?
Yeah.
That was started by our
Really?
drummer.
Because
What's the
I feel
color
like
this week?
Mark's always wearing red pants.
No, he's not always wearing red pants.
Really?
And we were just lucky he wears pants.
I
But
feel
we
like
do
every
try and
picture-
coordinate
I love his red
to
pants.
a certain degree. The last gig we did, I said I got kind of a pinky purple jacket on. So Paul's like, okay, my shirt's got kind of purple in it. And so we do try to do that for Queen of the Reich. We dress more gothy, black. A lot of black, a lot of hard lines, a lot of black.
But yeah, definitely accessorize anything. Make yourself stand out so you look like you belong on stage. Like she said, you're not just there to be in the audience. You're going to be
Unless you're a drummer,
recognized.
in which apparently nobody cares.
Nobody even knows who the drummer is.
Compression socks. I'm telling you, Aaron swears by compression socks.
I don't think I can get behind this, Aaron. Sorry. Well, I'm glad we got the cargo shirt thing out of the way because I'm still going to continue to
Well,
wear
Casey, his girlfriend Casey's in a band. One of her bands is Cover to Cover.
Cover to Cover. A
And
punk rock band.
They,
Yes, a punk rock band.
But their brand is they cover covers of songs, but they all dress exactly alike. So like one of their photos for one of their next gigs, they're all wearing blue, like blue. She's wearing like a leotard and a blue tutu and crazy tights, and they're wearing blue like these matching jerseys. Like
they're
that's part of
wearing like
their thing.
sparkle.
What?
Well, they actually take the idea.
That's another, but that's another event that they were doing.
They take the idea from a band, a punk band, called Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, which is exactly what they're doing, where they're taking the songs and they're punk rocking them out. But Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, they've been doing it for so many years. In fact, Casey and I, we did a show together not too long ago, and we probably spent way too long talking about Me First and the Gimme Gimmes in the car. Everybody else was sleeping. But yeah, that's where they get it from, and I think it's awesome. I love that.
But that's
there's-
part of your
as being
brand.
a punker. That's
Right.
awesome.
I mean, a lot of us grew up in the 70s and 80s when there was makeup, Kiss up on stage, and
And you remember?
Motley Crue, all the big hair bands. They all dressed to look like they should be on stage.
Well, Bootleg did that too.
What do we got? Wait,
we,
what do we got
had
here?
a.
Holy shit! What's
Oh
this?
Lord.
Oh! Take that in post production.
Thank God for editing. What do we got here, Alexa?
Minnesconsin.
Minnesconsin, the border battle.
This is the pretty one.
Okay. Wait, Graham Elliott?
Yes.
Smells like a beer.
Cheers.
Sure.
Cheers. That's good. That's really good.
Oh, very drinkable.
You guys should start a podcast too. You can get drunk for free.
Yeah, it is.
What one is? Oh.
I like that one.
It's the border battle, Minnesconsin. That's really good.
Okay, I got glass this time.
What happened?
Now I'm trusted.
I don't know
It's
what
what?
they're thinking.
Oh, I'm not going to pound
Poundable.
it.
It's poundable.
I'll get in trouble.
You can pound it.
I'll pound it later. I'm sorry. I didn't think of.
Will you be with someone?
I invite you to stay out of my personal affairs.
I'm sorry. I apologize deeply to the family.
Whether I'm with someone or not.
This is a 5.2.
It is aggressive and hard.
This is a 5.2 percenter. So,
Oh shit. Oh,
so
I'm
you
sorry.
can do all right.
She started it.
I did.
This one is the Minnesota.
Yeah, the Minnesconsin's a 5.2.
Not bad.
I think.
Ryan,
keep
how's
going.
that red wine, buddy?
But yeah, finishing that point, it's look at Hairball.
Yeah.
They dress big. Every band that you see that's famous, they look like they belong on stage. And I know it might feel uncomfortable because you're like, I don't dress that way. Well, you're getting up on stage, and that doesn't feel comfortable either. And sometimes looking like you belong there helps make that more comfortable. So by all means,
Slipping into the persona.
put your hair in a mohawk,
I
give
colored
yourself
my hair.
give yourself a style.
His face, I colored my hair.
I've seen celebrity singers at the airport, and I knew when we saw John Waite in the airport, you knew he wasn't like everybody else.
Yeah.
Like he dressed different, right? There was just something about the dress that was different that said, yeah, this guy isn't an accountant, right? He's not an accountant.
Or he's not a drummer wearing.
Or he's not
cargo
a drummer wearing support socks and such.
Can't get away from it,
Okay.
right? You can't get away from it. Well, cool. Did somebody say questions?
Sarah had a question.
Sarah,
She doesn't want to scream though,
You
right?
need to get the handheld.
Yeah, where'd it go?
Wait a minute.
Get a microphone so you're not like.
We need to be able to hear you on the video. Or at least everybody else needs to be able to hear you. I don't know if it'll be on the video.
Where'd it go? I lose everything, I swear. Oh, there it is.
Kind of nice I can watch the Twins game. I just got to put my glasses on.
Sarah, come on.
2-1.
What is your question, Sarah?
Okay, my question is for Beth about social media when you're doing your targeting.
Yeah,
All right, so you said you do 20. Is that what you said you
about
do?
$20. Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing for your target audience? You always have the setting that you use for general? Are you looking at geography? Are you looking at age?
Oh,
What
excellent
are you
question.
doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, I do a custom list for each venue. So the venues that the repeat offenders that I play at, I will do a custom audience and I will do targeting ages 21 plus. I will add in, I've started doing this recently, and you can add in interests like concerts and entertainment and music and that
that
sort of
something new?
thing. You can, and Facebook, yeah, you can do that on your events when you're buying advertising.
Okay.
And then I do a radius so I look at the venue and then I'll do a radius about 35
From the venue.
miles from the venue.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not precise. It seems to be a decent one where I'm not spamming the east side of the metro with something way out west or
I bet you live within 35 miles of Ziggy's in Stillwater.
not during traffic I don't.
That's fair. Anybody else? That was a great question. Great answer. Anybody else have any questions? Newbies, getting yourselves up. You have any questions?
You've got a free tumbler. You might as well ask something. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Biscuits next time.
I mean, if you guys have questions, feel free to shoot them out. I mean, that's fine. You don't have to come up.
I wish more, honestly, that was a really good question from Sarah, and you could have asked me at any time. But I'm surprised that artists, I'm calling myself an artist because that's what it says on my tag, that people don't ask each other more questions. I'm kind of surprised in this community that we don't, because
Why do you think that is?
pride? Or is it shyness? I don't know.
That's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Wait, who's
Minnesota
ignorance?
Yeah.
What is it? Fear? Fear of being looked at being silly or being
Well, Rufus in Manchester City said sometimes you just don't know what to ask.
oh, sometimes you don't know what to ask.
And that's fair. That's fair.
You don't know what you don't know. Oh yes, Midwesterners
right.
don't want to be a bother.
You know,
Okay.
Jake, go ahead. I was gonna say you're also in a band that is very well known. What are some of your kind of what do you guys follow some of these things that Beth has talked about?
Yes, I've got so many questions for her, but
Paul's the mic runner.
Appreciate you,
That's
Paul.
Paul. Sure about
Give it up for Paul. Yes.
thank you, Paul. You're the next contestant. But one of the questions I had didn't relate to that, but was, do you do Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok? And if so, which one has seemed to pull the most pertinent audience for you?
Yeah. I have not done TikTok yet, and I'm still on the fence as to whether I'll get a lot from that because my primary demographic for Sugar Buzz is not the TikTok group.
We're kind of all Facebook
And
audience.
so
groups.
I do Insta and Facebook. I get more pull from Facebook. I invest a little more in Facebook just because I can do events there. I can do events and invite people to events.
That was actually
You
also
can't do
my-
that with Instagram.
What?
Well, go ahead.
I was saying you can't do that with Instagram. I mean, you can put on your story what's coming up, but that's really about it.
But I do Instagram, just not as religiously.
You can
Okay,
put a
well-
reminder on Instagram and it reminds the person. You can set it to give a person a reminder.
So apparently you could set a reminder on Instagram.
One of the things,
And YouTube. I have YouTube too. We have YouTube.
are they linked?
Yeah, it's in my car because I always carry it because I'm always doing a gig. I have a big QR code. And when you flash it, it'll get to our Facebook, Instagram, website, and YouTube channels. And so you can pick which one you want to see.
You would recommend that for any band that's trying to build a
Yeah.
following as
Oh,
well
for
as a
sure.
link
For
tree.
place
sure.
to link them?
Yeah.
Use Linktree.
Yeah, I have never used it.
The
Linktree.
QR
I just
code
did a
link?
Google search for QR code generator, and one came up where I could just, have it linked to all the things that you have
Okay.
out on
I feel
social
like a
media.
QR code is almost great to have like on stage.
I do have one.
They
It's a
do,
big board like
right?
this.
They do.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody get on your
Very
phone, come take a
impressed.
picture, and and start following. That's a great way to land followers. Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the things about Facebook, though, and I don't really understand if it's an algorithm, but when we send out events, and you'd already talked about sending out events ahead of time, too far ahead of time,
Yeah.
but we tend to see that the engagements aren't as much when you create event as when you create an initial post that's not an event. It's just,
Do you turn
hey,
that post into an event?
sometimes we would, yeah, but otherwise, generally, we have our events like booked way out in the future and we just post them, which then I think it gets lost because the
It can.
engagements aren't that high. What
Right.
would you recommend we do?
I typically post events, I would say, only a couple months out, typically. Sometimes you can't help it because the venue's posting it on your behalf, and then they're tagging you as a co-host of the event. So, I've got stuff like way in the future. I'm like, shoot, whatever. But then as the date nears, I'll either do the advertising, or if I'm getting a lot of engagement, and you kind of have in your head after a while what the going number and the interested number is good for something for your particular band and your particular following. But I will then repost the event. I will reshare the event on my band page and say, hey, this is coming in 2 weeks. And then our drummer is really into weird graphics and things, and he does little PowerPoint things. And it's like, here's one for this venue. And so the week of, I'll post that.
Freaking
And
drummers.
so, but I do repost the event as it nears. Even though I posted it a while back, I will go back in 2 weeks before and go, coming up in 2 weeks, here's our next show. Or on a random post, like a funny post at somebody's birthday. Hey, it's Henry's birthday, April 3rd. Come and celebrate with us at, and then tag the event. And that seems to help.
And I think it's also great. I know you guys have a website too, and this might get lost. People think it's hard to drive traffic to a website. No, it's not. Just keep doing it. So if every time you post an event, say it's a month from now, you say, oh yeah, by the way, check out our events page for all future upcoming events that we have.
Yeah, the
booked."
website will take
There
all
you
of
can
them.
list everything.
Yeah, Paul manages our
all the way
website.
into
Yep.
New Year's 2027.
Well, that's one thing. Tim, first of all, thank you for having this one here, because Beth, marketing genius, and also John, when I've looked at what you guys are doing, and I'm seeing what John's doing for the Ziggy's All-Stars, my goodness, just a marketing genius for that. And the biggest thing about that, and I'm trying to tell some of my friends who are phenomenal musicians, I'm like, you got to go to a Ziggy's All-Stars, because that's the
dude,
network.
that right there.
That's
If
like
you
a
haven't been,
networking
please come.
hub
Right.
for anybody. I'm like, this almost not quite, but it almost bypasses the audition phase to where other bands can actually come see what you're like, not just with your abilities, but they can see what you're like with the crowd. They can see what you're like if you lock into a pocket with the bassist or the drummer or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
That it's like an
Bands have formed out of it, and people will
Well,
come and source people out
yeah.
of there. I'm
Yes.
looking for a guitarist,
Right.
and they will come to
A
the
selfish,
jams.
a selfish
Okay.
plug too for Comax. I record everything at Ziggy's Jam, so I mean, you can buy that video for $25, and when somebody says,
Now you got content.
I want to see a video
Yeah.
of you performing,
And it's mixed down
and when
from the
you
board.
Personally,
Solid
it's
audio.
kind of hard with the feral
I
parents,
can't
right?
wait
Because I'm
to
trying to
steal
get
our
everybody.
wine mixed down.
But when, like, say when Ryan buys a video, like my focus is on Ryan. So Ryan can send that video to whoever and say, here I am. Of course, I include the band and I try to include everything, but I mean, the main focus, would you agree that they've been good? You can tell me if they suck. He does. He bugs me about them all the time. So, I mean, there's so many, I know Mad Mike also records his
Yep.
jams.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many benefits. And again, we can't say it enough. Get out to these jams. Have fun.
Yeah,
Bring your A game.
bring your A game. It's been such a game changer over the past several years. Like you meet other musicians to network, and we've had people come to jams and just say, "I'm looking for XYZ player for my band, and they're
Yeah.
checking out people on stage. And so bands will form themselves just amongst jammers. There's been like at least a dozen. But then I've heard the people coming in sourcing new players. So
I get it a lot from bands that are looking to fill a spot.
yeah.
They'll message me and they'll say, hey, who do you got that's, a young female that would be a great addition to our band or whatever. I hear it a lot. So definitely get out and show yourself off. If you're in a band, if you're not in a band. It's just a great community. It's a great way to share a love of music. And I think it really benefits everyone by your presence.
Jake, thank
Thank
you
you,
so much. Those were great questions. Absolutely. So let's wrap this section up. Beth, what
Yes.
are your do's and what are your absolute do's and your absolute don'ts?
Let me make sure I haven't already stated them. Excuse me while I move my giant burger.
Restating, like what are you? What are your absolute
Experiment.
do's
The
and
number
absolute
one, the number
don'ts?
one absolute do is experiment. Experiment. The whole set list thing did not come about until we experimented and went, wait a minute, people are actually digging this. They're engaging with it. So measure it. What's getting engagement or stares? My number two, and I said that before, is always have one person in charge of one thing within your band. So we have one person in charge of mostly social media. We have one person in charge of putting together set lists. We have one person in charge who are kind of running that so that you have that, in the business world, one throat to choke when you want to know what's successful and what isn't. For Facebook, I thought this was a good tip, and I've seen people do it. Post your events. You can pin them to the top.
Yeah.
If you haven't done that before, pin your events to the top of your page. So every time you go to the page, that's the first thing they see is the pinned events of your upcoming stuff. The don'ts, I said, at followers. Getting too opinionated on the voice that you have, unless that's your thing. Somebody else had posted something a couple weeks ago about politics or something, and if politics is your jam, and that's about your brand as a band, right? Like you're a punk band that believes in XYZ, by all means, go with that voice. But if you want to get a community and you want to get a group of followers, I would say stay away from that. Put that on your personal page, put that somewhere else. You can do whatever you want, but you want to be as inclusive.
The thing about music is that's what
Unless
brings
you're
us
Rage Against the
together.
Machine.
Unless you're Rage Against it, and that's their thing, though, right?
Right.
That they built their whole
Or
brand on
propaganda,
that.
the punk band.
Yeah.
But the music is what brings us together,
And
right?
people will still follow them even if the Rage Against the Machine hates them. So it's
But
Yeah.
when we go out to the bars and we're going out to see these bands, that's your opportunity to. And I'm sorry, John. I know we talked about not cussing on the show. Megan, I'm sorry. No, that is your opportunity to not give a fuck about what is going on in the world, because you're there. You're listening to the music. You're having a great time. You're with your friends. So nothing else. Politics don't matter.
right.
I could get into so much more.
No.
Stop losing friends and neighbors over it. The music should be what brings us together.
Like Tom Petty said, if I can make people forget about their problems for 2 hours, I've done my job.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what we try to do, right? As a cover band, we're trying to give that entertainment to these people to forget about their everyday lives and what's going on. It could
Right.
be anything at all. So absolutely just be inclusive as inclusive as possible, because we want all walks of life to come to our shows. We want everybody to get along. We want everybody to have that same that bondness of the music. That's where I'm at with it.
I had what? Wait, I had one.
I mean, we do, but if you're punk,
No,
you just don't
you
do
got
it.
another question?
Yeah, do you have a question?
Question for all three of you, actually. When you have a band that they're saying, okay, we need to do 90 set lists, something like that, we need to revamp that. How do you get past you have many different players with many different input? Like, I'm heavy metal, that's where my vocals are. But,
I would say your vocals are all over the place,
well,
like in a good way.
thank you. But I mean, when you have so many different people that have so many different
Opinions.
Yeah.
tastes and
Yeah.
opinions in a variety band, how do you land on, okay, this is where we're going because this meets our band without ruffling some feathers.
People don't like it, they have the time with that.
Half the time
Yeah.
it's true.
Like she said, it's you have to define who you are as a band before, and then you can look at a new song and say, hey, does this fit or does it not?
That's exactly
I,
what we do.
I mean, me personally, I'm up for playing anything. I have a 3-song rule, right? A 3-try rule. You try it 3 times, 3 different venues. If it works here
Right.
or it doesn't work here, okay, I can put the song here, but I can't play it here. But if it bombs all 3 times, no matter where you're at, that's not, I'm sorry, it just didn't work. You had 3 tries, but if it works, keep it. I mean, we all play songs we don't like. We can admit it. We play songs that we don't like, but it doesn't matter because it's not about us, right? Of course, we try to play songs that we love and we'll throw them in. But I mean, I think a lot of it is gauging where you're playing too, because some songs, I've noticed a lot of songs that work in southern Minnesota don't necessarily work in northern Minnesota and vice versa. So I mean,
I think as far as the band choosing, like what you like, and I'll admit, we struggled with this for a long time and we continue to battle it on occasion, but we put the criteria together. The criteria is X. It's a dancer or it's a showcase for XYZ musician. It fits within our brand, like we were talking about further. Our brand is XYZ. We actually, as a variety band, we look at what decade it came out. Because we're like, are we skewed too far this way or too far that way? And so we'll look at that, and then we'll look at the talent level, the skill level, right? Can we execute this song? And if somebody suggests, and we do have it, where people will suggest songs just because they like it, because it has a cool part in it that they like, and it's like, okay, but what was your other criteria? Does it fit the other things? And if the answer is no, it's like, so if your particular band says, yeah, this doesn't fit in our brand, but man, Jake is pretty good in that area. Maybe we should expand our brand a little bit to incorporate that. Like a year ago, we would have never considered Metallica for Sugar Buzz, but man, that sucker goes over well. It's probably one of our best crowd pleasers ever.
you guys do understand, man?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. And it went nuts, and we tried it as an experiment, but it kind of fit. Hey, we wanted something early 90s. We wanted something that was metal, but it was popular metal, like more people would understand what the song was.
You could try Walk.
And we could, no, I'm doing that. Yeah, but we tried it as a lark, and we said it's kind of on the edge of what it's kind of on the edge of what we do. It still fits as a variety because it's pop metal, not necessarily deep cut Metallica. It's something everybody knows. If you said, name one Metallica song everybody knows, it's Enter Sandman. So we added it to the set list, and surprisingly, we're like, okay, it fits because everybody knew it, no matter what the generation was. Yeah.
How do you get past the everybody knows it, but every other band out there is doing it also?
That's a great one.
Don't do it.
Yeah. There are, well,
Or find a new way to do it. I'm all about making songs your
I
own.
mean, no offense, but I mean, Beth's got a hook in that she's, a delicate flower, but she's a metal chick.
We've learned tonight that she's not.
She's a female that's doing Metallica, which is
Right.
kind of unique in the cities.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the hook.
And doing it well. Doing it well.
Very well.
Yes.